What you're seeing here is the first launch towards a permanent human colony outside Earth.
3, 2, 1. Boosters in ignition. And liftoff of Artemis 1. We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
NASA and the entire world is returning once again back to the moon, and this time we're planning to stay there. The launch of NASA's SLS rocket with the Orion spacecraft puts us one step closer to colonizing the solar system. In this video, we'll be covering the history of human space exploration and what lies ahead in the future of human colonization. The truth is, there is no true start to space, and because of that, we've had to come up with a convention of where exactly space starts. It's called the Kármán line, exactly 100 kilometers above the surface of the Earth. The first thing to reach this altitude is a World War II German missile. Following that, the Soviets started the space race after sending both the first satellite and the first person in space. Following JF Kennedy's most ambitious speeches at the time,
we choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
The Apollo missions put the first people on the moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Since the Apollo moon missions, all astronauts have stayed at space stations set up in space, and the most notable being the International Space Station, deployed in the early 2000s. We always thought that we would go back someday, and after more than 50 years, NASA is going at it again with the Artemis program, and it all starts with Artemis 1. Think of Artemis 1 like a test run, a way to prove to all the skeptics in government that the technology does work and that with further investment, they can get humans back on the moon. Following the Artemis 1 mission, several other missions will be conducted to set up crucial systems such as the Gateway, which is a space station that will orbit the moon, followed by the human landing systems and many more. All of these systems will then culminate in unlimited economic opportunities and incentives to expand a colony on the moon. Moreover, the Artemis program, if successful, will also be a symbolic victory for humanity, as it will put the first woman and the first person of color on the moon. So, what exactly is the future? With the establishment of a permanent moon base, it will be much easier to travel to other bodies in the solar system, particularly Mars. This is because the moon's weaker gravity allows less fuel to be used in a spacecraft and saves money. On top of that, the moon has a bunch of natural resources, including water, which can be used in fuel. A colony on Mars will be a lot more difficult to set up than on the moon. While Earth can quickly send supplies to the moon within a couple of days, a trip to Mars will take at least 2 years. But once a permanent colony is set up, Mars will then act as a springboard for future human space exploration, particularly into the resource-rich asteroid belt and the outer reaches of the solar system. From this, humans will advance on the Kardashev scale from a Type 1 civilization, a civilization that controls all the resources on the planet, to a Type 2 civilization, a civilization that controls all the resources in its solar system. With control of all these resources, we can then build structures such as Dyson spheres to harness as much energy from the sun as possible and use that energy to fuel society and eventually build technologies that will allow us to go interstellar. Based on current technologies, it will only take us 1 to 2 million years to spread around the galaxy, and for us, while that may seem like a long time, on the scale of the universe, it's the blink of an eye. It's because of our extremely quick progress that we wonder why we don't see other alien spaceships. Who knows, maybe we'll be the only life forms in the universe forever, or maybe we're the first. Speaking of aliens, there have been a lot of reports on UFO sightings, and if you want to see what NASA is going to do about these sightings, just click the video you see on your screen. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and support us on Patreon, link down below. Goodbye.